flight into the dangerous world of a man who is fearless. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause in a world of reckless automobiles. These are my motovlogs.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Your boy Chris is out on the 2016 Honda Goldwing. Out on the Goldwing today, riding with a special guest. You've seen him in the videos. The one, the only, the legend, JC.
Yes, sir. What's up, Chris? Caliente?
If you guys been keeping up with my videos, you know, JC just not long ago bought a trailer for his Honda Goldwing, and today JC is pulling the trailer. How you liking that trailer so far, JC?
So far, I like it. I haven't really had a chance to use it that much, but I'm really liking it. You know, just got to get used to it. Got to become an expert at it like you are, you know.
Yeah, so you need to get some practice in, huh?
Yeah. Practice backing it up, you know, and parking.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. It's a cool morning for a ride, actually, JC. It's a cool morning for a ride. Man, I'm showing 50 degrees. It was in the lower 40s earlier. And so even though...
Yep, I'm showing 50.
Even though that it's springtime, it still feels almost like it's wintertime.
Yeah, you're going to have some days like this.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have warm days and cold days. But we're never going to have any... I think we're done with the really cold days and the bad weather, you know.
Right. Yeah, it's a chilly day. As a matter of fact, JC, I'm just making sure I got everything snug because, you know, it's kind of chilly this morning. I'm wearing my first gear one-piece thermal suit, and I'm glad I had my winter gloves in the trunk because I need them today. And they're not heated, but they're some winter-type gloves. JC, what do you think of the first gear one-piece thermal suit? I noticed you have on that first gear suit.
Oh, I like it, man. First time today putting it on, and it's really been nice. It really keeps the wind off of you. You know, it keeps you reasonably warm. I got my hot-wired heated jacket on the inside.
Okay.
So I'm layered, and I got my hot-wired heated gloves on. So I'm doing fine, man.
Yeah.
Not cold at all.
Actually, this morning, JC, was so chilly out. You know, I just put on my first gear one-piece thermal suit, and on the ride over, man, it was so cold. I actually went in my trailer and put on my hot wired, my heated gear, and I put that on underneath. So now I'm snug like a bug, JC.
Snug like a bug in the rug, you ain't no thug.
Yeah, that's right. Snug like a bug in the rug. And believe me, your boy Chris ain't no thug. So we out here just cruising on I-40.
You know, by the time you get all this stuff on, it kind of makes you want to just keep on riding, you know?
Yeah. That's the thing about it. Sometimes before you go on a ride, especially in the colder season, you got to make sure that everything is zipped up, buttoned up. You want to make sure you got on the right layer, the proper base layer, your mid layer, your outer layer, proper gloves. You know, you got to prepare. It's almost like an airplane pilot in a cockpit. He got to go through his checklist. Helmet straps, check. Helmet vent closed, check.
Cardo on, check.
So, you know, sometimes I know a lot of bikers, they just put on their half helmet, get on the bike and go. And that's cool for a short ride, but when you're talking about touring or you're talking about long distance riding, especially in the colder months, man, you got to go through the checklist.
Yep, you know, Chris, I used to be one of them riders.
Oh, you were?
Back in the day. I started out like that, man.
Yeah.
Walk out the house with nothing but a key to the motorcycle.
And that worked fine for a while, but You got smarter.
I was young and stupid. I'd walk out, hop on the bike, and go.
Right. Weather changed on you, you turn to a popsicle on the way back to the house.
Yeah.
Because you start to leave out with a T-shirt on or something, and that's good when it's hot, but when the evening.
I read that the wind chill can differ 30 degrees in some conditions.
Yeah.
On a motorcycle, I think it's 70 miles an hour. If it's 60 degrees, it can make it feel like 30.
Right. You can walk outside at 60 degrees and it feels good, but when you get on a motorcycle at 60 degrees, you can easily deduct 15, 20 degrees off of that. And depending on how fast you're going, it can feel even colder.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, JC, which car tire are you do you have on your bike now? Are you running that Bridgestone or you running a different
No, I
brand?
have a Falcon.
You have a Falcon?
Falcon. I'm not sure which one. It might be called a Sincero. I'm not sure. I think it's a Falcon Sincero.
Okay.
It's a comfortable tire, smooth riding tire. I have them on my car too, and I'm not real happy with them on the car. For some reason, they got noisy.
Is that a run flat or that's a regular car tire?
Regular tire. You know, the thing about run flats, they're good. The run flat is kind of like a fad, I believe. It's a good thing, but I think people are kind of getting away from it.
Yeah, they done, and also JC, they done ran the price up on the run flat, man. You know, them tires, I've seen them high as almost $200, and I've seen them as low as $110. So the price range varies.
Yeah, everything's going up, man.
Yeah, the price range varies. But you're looking good, JC, pulling that Escapade.
Appreciate it.
And you say your bike is a 09?
08.
08.
Yeah.
Okay. 08. Yes, sir. Have you had any major problems how many miles on your bike?
I just turned over 40.
Okay. Have you ever had any issues out of your bike at all?
None. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Haven't had a single. Of course, it's only 40,000 miles, you know.
Right.
But no, I haven't had any problems with it.
Okay.
You know, it's been a good bike, just maintenance.
Yeah, routine maintenance.
Getting close to time for an oil change. I'll probably do an oil change this summer.
Right.
And I change my oil every 2 years because I don't ride anymore, not nearly as much as I used to.
Right.
Yeah, I'm probably, using Amsoil synthetic. If you're only putting 5,000-6,000 miles a year on a bike, you don't have to change it every year.
Right.
I'll change it. Probably this year. I think I changed it in 2020. So I think I'll change it this summer.
What oil filter are you running? You running like a SuperTech or OEM filter?
Yeah, that's Walmart SuperTech.
SuperTech. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, which is rated as one of the best.
Right. Yeah, I hear it's one of the best filters that you could actually buy. Better than the OEM filter.
Yeah, I believe it's a match. I think it's made by Bosch. If you look at Bosch, they got about the same. I think they have the same part number, except one of them has the ST on it.
Right.
The Walmart is SuperTech, and the other one has the Bosch. And they sell them both side by side in the Walmart. At Walmart.
Right.
You can look at the part number and then open them up and look at the filter. They're the same.
Right. Yep. I've used the SuperTech. I've used the Fram. I've used the OEM.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I quit using the OEMs years ago.
Oh, you did?
I read that was one of the worst ones you could buy.
Yeah, it's just a paper filter is all it is.
Yeah. And they charge $20-something for it.
Yeah,
I'm
you'd be
just
better.
proud of that stuff, man, to be just normal stuff,
Right. True that.
But the next car I buy, I might the next tire I might put another run flat on there. I don't know. It depends.
Right.
It depends. If I rode as much as you do, I probably would have a run flat. Still, I have one on my other wheel. I have a Cooper based on drive guard.
Right. JC, I'm checking out your trailer. Man,
Yeah.
that thing is tracking straight as an arrow, man.
Yeah, man. I have no complaints about that trailer. I have no complaints about that trailer.
Right.
Well, I have one, and it's not the trailer's fault. I hate that, they quit making it. And they explained to them, and they quit making it because Honda no longer makes the parts for it, the lights and stuff.
Right.
So they can't get the parts because they match them up to the back of the bike.
Right. Well, I'm just checking it out from back here, and it's tracking straight. I mean, it's tracking straight. It's not moving or anything.
Good. Good. There.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. I know that those trailers change your riding experience. But let me ask you this, JC, for anybody that's watching this video, for a lot of guys out there that said, man, I don't know why you pull a trailer everywhere you go. For a lot of people that wonder, should they pull a trailer? Should they not pull a trailer? Does it hinder your ride? Is there any advice you can give to anybody that's watching this video that might be considering buying a trailer, or just question, why we actually pull a trailer?
Well, so far, as far as any differences, so far I hadn't been able to tell any. It rides the same. You told me up front that you're not going to be able to tell it's back there, and I really can't tell it's back there.
Right.
It rides perfect.
Right.
As far as the why, everybody in the group had a trailer.
Right.
I think except for me.
Right.
And every time we went somewhere, the first thing I did when I got off the bike was go put all my stuff in your trailer. or over in,
somebody else's trailer.
Yeah. So, I'd put something in somebody else's trailer, my jacket, my helmet, to keep them carrying inside the restaurant. So, I knew that it was handy. I already knew it. It's just a given.
Right.
So, when you get a trailer, if you can afford it, because they don't give them away.
No.
If you can find a good used one at a good price, you'll like it because you don't have to worry about room anymore.
Right.
You can put a lot in a saddlebag and a trunk. I've been doing that for decades.
Right.
But it's also once you get a trailer, you don't have to worry about when it comes to saddlebags and a trunk. You have to pack everything perfectly.
Right.
If you're going to pack clothes, you got to have either the matching luggage to put it in there, or
Right.
you got to roll everything up and put it in there. But
Right.
if you have a trailer, just throw everything in the trailer.
Right.
Just throw it in there, open it up, and throw it in there.
Right. That's true. I kind of brought that up because here recently somebody asked me, why do you pull a trailer everywhere you go? And I asked him, I said, well, what can I do without the trailer that I can't do with the trailer?
Right.
And they kind of scratched their head like, well, I don't know. So I asked, that's why I kind of asked you that, because I know a lot of times people that watch my vids or people that just may see us out, they always wonder, why do I pull a trailer, or why do we all pull trailers, or do they have to pull a trailer to ride with me? No, you don't have to have a trailer to ride with me. A trailer just makes your ride experience more, it makes it better. Other
I know
days.
one thing, this jacket is burning me up. I had to turn it down, man.
You had to turn it down?
I had to turn it down to low. This hot-wired heated jacket gets hot.
Yeah, that's what Humdinger said. Humdinger said it's hot.
It's
But, I went out the other day. I didn't have my trailer. And I went to put something in my trailer and realized that I didn't have my trailer.
Yep.
So, I mean,
You're so used to it being there.
it's a matter of convenience. It doesn't hinder your ride. It makes your ride better. You can store all your helmets, you know, your jacket.
You can carry 2 helmets with you. You know, one helmet is sick. Cause I got one that's wired and one that's wireless.
Yep. But I think people that don't understand, people that never pulled a trailer before, I just think that they have no idea. But I think once a person actually experienced pulling a trailer, I don't think they'll probably ride without it. So,
no,
JC,
I think you get used to it really, really quick. But I already knew, because I saw everybody else's. You know, sometimes I would get ready to put my helmet or my jacket in somebody else's trailer when we got parked, and their trailer already be full.
right,
You know, because they carry so much stuff.
right.
You know, and then you did one video about all the stuff. When you had that timeout trailer, you did a video about how much stuff you could put. Man, you put everything but the kitchen sink in that trailer. Man.
Well, you might need it, because just like today, you know, the biggest thing is gear, because you have to prepare for the weather changes. You know, you may start out hot, it go to cold, or you may start out dry, it goes to wet.
Yeah.
You know, you may see something when you're out there that you need to bring back, or it's kind of like having a trunk on a car, man. It's one of those things that you just gotta have it when you're out here on these bikes.
Yeah, it's really handy. Like I said, if a guy can afford it,
right?
Because they are expensive.
Yeah.
You know, if a guy can afford it, and it's getting a little windy up here.
Yeah, that's the buffering coming off that truck.
Right. If a guy can afford it, or if he can find a good used one at a fair price, I highly recommend it. If you travel, if you don't ever go anywhere, don't bother.
Yeah, if all
because,
you do is
to be honest, Chris, honest with you, I hadn't planned on buying one.
Right.
You know, I told you before, you know, because you would show them to me, Steve would show it to me, and say, man, we saw this. Mark would show it to me. And I'm like, well, I really don't need it. I don't go that much. I don't travel that much, you know.
Right.
And, you know, a deal came up that I think I was telling you before. If a deal came across that was so good I couldn't refuse it,
right,
I might go ahead and take it, and that's what happened.
Right. Let me ask you this question. Do you have any regrets about buying it?
None.
None.
Not one. It's handy as it can be. And then, you know, sometimes it hasn't happened to me yet in recent years, but I remember a lot of times, I'm sure it's happened to you, you go into a store and just start picking stuff up. And you might go in the store for one thing. You start grabbing stuff that you need, and before you know it, you got a basket.
Right.
And then you come out of the store and you look, you forget that you're not in your car. You come out of the store and look out there and see that motorcycle, and you look at that basket and you think, oh no, what am I gonna do? You know.
Right. I gotta take a bungee cord and tie everything down like a hermit.
You gotta fill up the trunk, fill up the saddlebags, fill up the pack, it up down on the seat, and carry something in your lap while you drive just to get it loose. You know, with the trailer, you don't even have to worry about that.
Right.
It'd be hard to fill up this trailer back here.
Right.
That sucker's huge.
Do you find yourself, when you're riding, riding more with the trailer or without the trailer?
So for me, since I haven't ridden much, I'm pretty sure it's going to stay hooked up, because there's another reason we hadn't even talked about.
Okay.
How about lazy?
Not L-A-Z-Y,
Why unhook
L-A-Z-E.
it and pack and park it when you can just leave it hooked up, you know? And just...
Right. Hey, JC, not L-A-Z-Y, L-A-Z-E, lazy.
Yeah, lazy.
I mean, so much so you misspell it. Lazy.
Yeah.
L-A-Z-E.
L-A-Z-E.
Not L-A-Z-Y.
L-A-Z-Y. Yeah, because, you know, you can just hook that sucker up, put the lock on, hook the cables up, put the chains on it.
Right.
And leave it alone.
Yep. Yeah, but I almost have my bike where where I want it. So I've been unhooking and hooking, but normally it stays hooked up.
Yep.
It normally stays hooked up. So we
Yeah.
out here.
Hey,
No, go ahead, JC.
I noticed that everybody else already had, they've had trailers for years.
Right.
I think the only ones that didn't have a trailer was me and Humdinger.
Yeah. I know Lady Love wants Humdinger to get a trailer,
Yeah, she has one.
but he doesn't want one. He said he doesn't want one.
He might just need one of those cooler racks like that one I got.
Yeah, I think she just want to get it, want him to have a place to put his things.
Yeah.
But sometimes a trailer's so convenient, people will put things in your trailer.
Like
So
I did.
So it's like, there's a lot of wind buffeting coming off that truck. That's why I kind of back a little bit.
Yeah. I-40 has the trucks, man. They
Yeah,
got the trucks.
That's the thing about the trucks, yeah. It's a nice day, really, for a ride. If you got the right suit on. This heated gear is definitely working underneath the first gear one piece. Yeah. I think the high today, they call them for like 50, maybe 55.
Yeah, in Memphis they were showing 56 for the high,
Okay.
and but in Arkansas they were showing 60, 64.
Okay.
It's going to be a little warmer in the west,
Yeah, sometimes the weatherman will fudge the numbers.
Yeah, you never know.
It's going to be 70 degrees, but yeah, at midnight,
Yesterday was okay. It was kind of nice yesterday, but
Right.
But it was really windy outside yesterday in Arkansas. It was pretty windy. It's kind of windy out here now.
Yeah, we on the tail end of, even though it's spring, so we kind of getting.
It's supposed to be 80 degrees tomorrow.
Really?
Now that's what the weatherman said. It said tomorrow, Monday, is supposed to be the first 80-degree day for the year.
In Ball Knob, or is this, what is it?
Little Rock.
Little Rock, okay, yeah, that's probably why.
The weather comes out of Little Rock.
Right.
They were showing 80. It may not get there, though. Sometimes, they have the weather right.
Come on, JC.
They may not have the day right.
Or around this truck. Yeah, they,
It might come Tuesday.
Right, right. That's the thing about 40, man. 40 is riddled with trucks.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point I want to take another trip up 72.
Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful road.
Speaking of trip, how did you enjoy the trip last weekend with the guys? Did you make
we had a great time.
What's the name of the place you went to?
Yeah, that was Aunt Berta's kitchen.
Aunt Berta.
Yeah. It was pretty good little spot.
Did y'all eat like starving maniacs?
Not really. I'm trying to do a little better on my diet. I'm not getting any younger, so I'm having to try to watch what I eat.
Yeah, you'll be like, once you get in your 50s, my doctor told me, you think of everything you like to eat, and then don't eat it. Yeah.
That's like Fred said.
Eat salads.
That's like Fred said. Man, you're trying to put me on an immediate crash course diet.
Yep. Yep, that's right. You can eat all the roughage you want. Cabbage, greens, spinach, broccoli, lettuce, carrots, celery.
Get
You
past.
have all the green leafy vegetables and fruits your heart desires.
Right. We get past this truck.
And you have to get away from meat, bread, and potatoes. And that's what we like.
Man.
Meat, bread, and potatoes.
Yeah, I'm like Fred again. You're trying to put me on a crash diet.
Crash diet, because that's exactly what you do. You crash You be wanting some meat and starch. And after a while, your body start talking to you.
And be like, well, what are you doing? Where's my meat? Where's my pasta?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they say you can't eat anything white.
Yep. And then, too, when you start eating it, if you keep on, the way my doctor put it, you can either change your diet or start taking medicine, one or the other. And he said most of his patients, most people, when they finally tell them that choice, when they get over 45 or over 50, depending on the person,
they choose the medicine.
They tell them you can change your lifestyle or you can go on medicine. And
right.
most people go on medicine willingly because, in other words, the way most people look at it, if you got a pill that I can take and still live like I've been living, give me the pill. What they don't realize is eventually the pill won't work.
Right.
Or you have to take more of them.
Give me 2 pills. Give me the blue pill and give me the red pill.
Yep.
I want to see how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Yep.
You can take the blue pill or you can take the red pill. What's your choice?
I remember reading in a book Elvis Presley said before he died, he took 1 million pills a day. That he had to take a pill to get up, a pill to go to sleep, a pill to go to the bathroom, a pill to go on stage, a pill to come off stage. You know, he said everything required a pill. And he was 42 when he died.
Dang. Yeah,
42.
Yeah.
And when I was a teenager, that seemed like old when because I was like 16. No, I think I was 15. So, that 42 seemed old. But now when you look back on it, you think, doggone, that guy was he was a young singer. So how you like that I-90?
I really like it. I have no complaints.
Yeah.
I have no complaints.
Other than the position of the helmet shield.
How do you where you drop the inner sunshade?
Yeah.
I wish that would have been on the top of the helmet, but more so than the side, because on the side you try to find yourself looking at, see if you can locate exactly where the slot is.
Right.
And when you have a glove hand, that makes it kind of difficult.
Yeah, everybody's trying to make stuff more and more aerodynamic instead of making it more and more glove friendly.
Right. Exactly.
I want to give a shout out to my friends Tony and Sheila Avant and their daughter Eden. Sheila recently got a Can-Am Spyder F3S, just like Tony, her husband.
Okay.
And last weekend we went down to Cycle Gear and got the whole family outfitted.
Okay.
And it was a great day, man. They all got I-90 helmets and Cardos, the 45 mil speakers, the JBL, and there's the guy there, the manager Tom. It's
right.
Cycle Gear in Little Rock. He really fixed it. They spent all the time in the world on us, man.